एक minute. You have your
It's like already. Okay, so this is session 7 of the Emoticon series. Once again, a quick introduction. Um that's Sowmiya Bhas. Sowmiya, say hi.
hi.
Sowmiya is the owner of the W Therapies, and she is a practicing psychotherapist and a teacher of hypnotherapy and a practitioner of hypnotherapy. She's also learning advanced hypnotherapy, which is called as TASO. She knows other modalities like shamanism, animal communication, and you name it, and it's there on her list. As far as me, I'm Hema Subramanian, and I am also a practicing psychotherapist. Also, getting certified as a hypnotherapist now. And I've been a corporate trainer for donkey's years. Okay. So, Soumya and I have started this series to make sure that as therapists, we want to spread awareness about what emotions are and how we can become more aware of emotions. And when we become aware of emotions, how our life can change. No, just by acknowledging and identifying with emotions, how things can change. And we chose to do it through the medium or through the platform of the classic epic called Mahabharat. So, Soumya, do you want to do a quick recap? Because Parvati there is new to
Yeah.
this.
Sure. So, like Hema said, we have started off on a journey on understanding what are emotions, what are our basic emotions, what are we born with, and how does it evolve as we keep growing through our years. How more emotions get added to our kitty, and more importantly, how we recognize, understand, and manage emotions so that we can all live a more healthy, fulfilled lives. This is our seventh episode, like Hema had just mentioned. So we have uploaded the previous series up on YouTube for ease of catching up. And we have now picked up on Mahabharat to understand how even all the characters showed the various emotions. We spoke about that. And we have picked up on the first emotion of love, how that can be seen through an express and is expressed by the various characters, both positive and negative. We've spoken about the types of love, which one, the way we have defined it is self love, love for yourself, love for another, love for a cause, and love for the divine. That's the way we have classified it so that we can understand it better and explain it through our talks going forward. And today we speak about self love. Uh, how, what is self love? How do you express it? And how can you make it better so that your life is better? And Hema's going to give us more pointers on that. I'm waiting to hear what she has to say.
Right. So this is just the beginning of it because self-love is also work in progress. I will have an honest confession here. I have been trying really hard to just like myself the way I am. And sometimes it's tricky, just putting on more weight or, not succeeding at something, uh, not being at par with what you had expected out of yourself can really make the world of a difference to us only, not to the world. Maybe the world looks at us as extremely successful individuals, but what we feel about ourselves is the first step to, yeah. So I'm going to share this. Yes. So this is there. I just thought why my internet connection, how my internet connection didn't act up now. And so, yeah. So, can you see these characters? Of course, you can see these characters. So tell me, there are the top, sorry, there are top 5. There are 5 people there. What happened? Okay. So we're talking about 5 characters here. We're talking about Krishna, Bhishma, Vidur. That is Ved Vyas, by the way. and that is Yudhishthir. And at the bottom, we have Shantanu, we have Dhritarashtra, we have Duryodhan, we have Karna, and we have Ashwathama. So tell me, what is your understanding of how these people are different? Actually, the answer just came up before by mistake. But what do you think is the primary difference? Any of you? Any of you being only Sharda and Paru, actually, and Sowmiya.
Uh, for me, when I look at them, the way they stand out is probably good characters and and positive characters and negative characters. That is what the way they stand out. And I'm
Correct.
wondering how is self-love related to this? So
Yeah, that's a great question. Yes. Yeah.
no,
So, yeah, go on.
no, in terms of that, yes, I understand that they did love themselves. That's why probably sometimes there was too much of love. So, or too, whether was it really love or was it some other emotion that they thought is love? So, I'm a little muddled up and I'm waiting for you to explain more about this.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, it comes across, or it looks like these are positive versus negative characters. But to a great extent, if you look at their life struggles, they're very similar, right? So, Ved Vyas is an illegitimate child too. I don't know if you know the story for you. Just to give you a heads up. So, this Satyavati, who's supposed to be this fisherwoman who King Shantanu falls in love with, and eventually she becomes like the great grandmother of the lineage of Pandavas and Kauravas. So she takes this rishi Parashar across the river, and he blesses her with a child who was Vedvyas, and that too again when she was not married. Okay, so which is a very similar situation of Karna, right? Something happened, Kunti got a boon. She wanted to experiment. She said, "Chalo, karke dekhte hai," and then she lands up with a kid. She doesn't know what to do with that kid, so she gives the kid away. Vidur also has a similar scene. If you know Ambika and Ambalika, so the Satyavati has two sons. Both of them die, unfortunately, and pretty young like that. So his queens, they are both widowed, and because they are widowed, they cannot bear children. But their Satyavati says, we need a lineage. How can we proceed without that? So she calls Ved Vyas and she says, oh, you are also my son, so it is your duty to give me a progeny, right? So he has these powers. So these queens are sent to him one by one. So the first one, she goes, she closes her eyes and Dhritarashtra is born. The second one, she goes, she shivers and she goes pale. And so Pandu is born, who's perpetually sick and pale most of the times. And then Satyavati comes to know about this, and then she says, they say, ek aur chance. Like we ask, we ask life, we ask God, one more chance, please give me some time to make this right. So she says, chalo, one more, who wants to go next? Now both these queens were so scared, they said, chalo, we are not going, we'll send the maid there. They sent the maid there, and poor thing, she goes, she just is humble enough, and there, Vidur is born. So he's also that way an illegitimate child. He's a stepbrother of the kingdom. So this illegitimacy is there in the scene. Anyways, Krishna Katha, don't ask. It's a complicated thing, and how he is born. And he is, of course, divine like that. Yudhishthir is also IVF. So some surrogacy happened, and no IVF happened, and test tube baby, and then he's also born. The only person who's legitimate in that row is probably Bhishma, and yeah, so that's that. So again, if you look at people in the lower row, right? They are legitimate children. Like Dhritarashtra is again IVF, test tube baby. Duryodhan is pretty much legitimate. Shantanu is pretty much legitimate. Karna is of course a questionable character. Ashwathama is very much legitimate. So you will see that the struggles of all of these people are very similar. Yet, what sets them apart is how they view their duty towards themselves and the kingdom. Just the sheer acceptance of it that yes, I'm illegitimate, अभी आगे बोलो क्या करना है. Like Vidur very well knows where he stands. That is why you will also see that the top five are known to be very wise. Who are these wise people? Wise people are people who are able to accept themselves and their reality. What do you mean by accepting their reality? Is that this is what it is. And yes, it must have hurt them. We don't know. That part is not shown. But nobody likes to be an illegitimate child, right? Who likes to be an illegitimate child? So it must have definitely made some difference. But the acceptance that this is my life and I choose to live it the way it is, whatever comes to me, versus all these lower characters, you may, of course, it is portrayed as if, they are greedy and, they want everything for themselves and all of that. The basic difference in them is that they couldn't accept their reality. Like Shantanu, when he meets Satyavati, I don't know, ये इसके साथ love at first sight सबके साथ हो जाता है. He, गंगा के साथ भी love at first sight होता है. He says, no, no, marry me, I will not ask you any question. Poor thing, he's not able to handle that. Satyavati also, he looks at her, he falls in love at first sight. He says, no, no, I want to marry this woman only. He goes to the father says, okay, her child will become the king next. And he mopes and he mopes and he sulks and he sulks till Bhishma comes in and says, Kya ho gaya, bhai? Why are you sulking so much? And then the entire Mahabharat gets set into motion. But you will see that acceptance of, I will not get this, I will not get this woman is not there. That is my reality. I have already promised my kingdom to my son, and I will not be able to give it to anybody else. Right? Dhritarashtra, I can't accept that I'm blind. And because I'm blind, I'm being taken, given away. My rights are being taken away. So that acceptance of, yeah, maybe I will be able to do a good job. Maybe I won't be able to do a good job, but that time will tell. That it is not coming from that space. It is still coming from the space of, no, 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 no. It is unfair. I should be given, and therefore my son should be given. So Duryodhan caught on to that loop of entitlement, and he says that I will not accept anybody else's reality, anybody else's point of view. Mujhe chahiye to mujhe chahiye. It is like a child or 2-year-old throwing a tantrum, say that if I want to eat this, I want to eat this, you give me anything else, I'm going to throw it on your face. So that comes. Karna, however nice he tries to be, like he's supposed to be known as Danveer and very kind and very this and all of that, he couldn't come to terms with his reality that yes, I was abandoned. I still found great parents. He finds great parents actually. Like which parent, his father is a mere charioteer, right? He takes him to throne and he says, my child wants to learn from you. So again, that taking of that rejection, taking of that, that I am a charioteer's son doesn't come through to almost till the end. Yeah. Ashwathama again grows up with his father's angst. Drona is like, yeah, I want to be powerful. I want to defeat this bugger. And then that entitlement comes to him, and he also doesn't accept the reality that after all, I am a Brahmin son. And Brahmin's children live a particular way. They don't live the life of kings. They live the life of Brahmins only, because that's what it used to happen earlier. Today, of course, it's not the case. So the basic premise of self-love comes with self-acceptance. Can you accept yourself for who you are is the biggest question in the world. So when I say, can you accept yourself for who you are, it's not all the compliments and the amazing things you can do and the person that you are. It's also the nasty parts of you. Maybe we are all stubborn. Maybe we are rebellious. Maybe we are inconsiderate. Maybe we are whatever that we are. Are we able to take that as who we are completely? So self-love starts with self-acceptance in the entirety of who you are. And I will ask you a very simple question. Are you also able to forgive yourself for who you are not or who you want, like according to your own expectations? That if something happens and you don't meet up to your standards, or you end up doing something that you consider to be wrong, are you able to forgive yourself and say that, yeah, it happened. I feel guilty. I feel remorse. And I'm willing to learn from my mistake, and I'm willing to move on from this space. So, like I said, this is just the first of the self love series, because it's a big journey. It's a very big journey. And how much ever we talk about it, nobody can actually teach you that, because to each his own, right? We all find ourselves in different ways. Some people find themselves through relationships. Some people find themselves through work. Some people find themselves through uh, just sheer accidents sometimes, events, life events, So for example, if somebody wants to test your courage, maybe life will throw you something where you have to step up. You never thought that you had to step up to this, but you are stepping up, you know. I think you and Paru, your parenthood is a great deal of stepping up. Sowmiya and Paru, right? There's a great deal of stepping up to what life is offering you, overcoming your own inhibitions, looking beyond yourself, at the same time making sure that you are being your authentic self. So it's a big, it's a project in itself, being able to accept yourself the way you are, which is, like I said, the first step to self love. There's a beautiful book written by this gentleman called Nathaniel Branden, and it's called Six Pillars of Self Esteem. And he speaks about these six qualities where, I don't know how it goes. He speaks about six qualities that build a strong self esteem. So he says, living consciously, like knowing what you're doing, not just going with the flow, being aware, knowingly taking steps, taking life decisions, making life choices knowingly, not randomly running as headless chickens all the time. Huh? Sometimes it's okay to go with the flow, but every decision of our life cannot be going with the flow, right? Otherwise, we'll never be able to find ourselves like that. Self acceptance is the next, like we spoke about it. Self responsibility. If you notice, again, in the Draupadi Vastraharan scene, all of these, Bhishma was there, Vidur was there, Yudhishthir was there. They took responsibility. They said, yeah, we didn't do anything. We couldn't, or we didn't do anything about it. So they are able to accept their mistakes as well, as opposed to these five people who are like, no, 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 I am not wrong. Everybody else may be wrong. I am not the one. I have to behave like this because other people are making me behave in this particular way, right? So self-responsibility is a big thing. Self-assertiveness. We'll talk a great deal about this eventually. A lot of times, how we are or what we think, we are not able to present that to the world because of several reasons, because of our own fears, because of expectations of the society, and so on and so forth. So we'll talk about that. Living purposefully, which is the step beyond these first four steps. And then personal integrity. So personal integrity again has to do with our own values. I know what I stand for. So the difference between Bhishma Pitamaha's, wow, why he starts being called Bhishma, is to be able to say that I take responsibility for everything that happens beyond this oath, right? I'm able to take responsibility. I know what will happen if I give up the throne. I know what will happen to the kingdom if I give up the throne. So there is a great deal of knowing of what will happen if I do this. Yeah. So that personal integrity, your actions have to come from a space of knowing, which is again a part of living consciously. When I know, I take responsibility of it, and when I act out of that space, it becomes, you are respected for it. You're respected for that choice, rather than just randomly saying something. Maine shapath le liya. I think throughout Mahabharat, you will see that so many people take shapaths. not everybody is respected for their shapath, right? Shikandi is taking one shapath. Bhishma definitely is taking one shapath. Some random person taking one shapath saying that I'm going to kill you before the sun sets or something like that. The random people taking random shapaths and promises and oaths, but not everybody gains that respect. And the difference again is the personal integrity that you come with, okay, which is a very important part of uh, loving yourself, which means that you are accepting it, you're accepting the consequence, you know what will happen, and you know how your actions will affect the other people. So this so our self concept, our identity is divided into three aspects. The first aspect is called as a self-worth. We will deep dive into all of this through the next sessions, and we'll probably pick up more activities. We'll also do some meditations, or we'll do some EFT tapping around each of these aspects to understand what are the areas that we need improvement on. So the first layer of our identity is called as self-worth. Self-worth is what we think about ourselves. Yeah, a game that we play around self-worth is the I am game. So Sowmiya, I've been rambling for a while now. Do you want to explain the I am game? So when you say I am, you complete it with an adjective. You want to play that with one of them so they get it? Are we short
Sure,
of
we can
time?
do that.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those first things that come into your mind also to know exactly what do you feel about yourself. So who wants to volunteer for this?
If nobody does, then I will have to.
I will.
Amazing. Both of you want to volunteer. So maybe we can do one by one. How
Okay.
does better than this? Okay, so Sharda, I am.
I don't know. I mean, what am I supposed to do?
Give me an adjective without thinking too much of
Confused.
it for yourself. So I'm just saying I am, and you finish it because it is for you. So instead of saying you are,
Confused.
okay. Parvati, for you, you want to do this? We can just do a random quick. Okay. Parvati, I am.
It's the same sentence?
Yes, the I am says the same, and you give me an adjective. What you think of yourself? Quickly. I am.
I'm Jolly.
Pardon me?
Jolly.
Girly. Okay, great. Sharda, I am.
Fat.
Parvati, I am.
I'm tired.
Okay. Sharda, I am.
Sleepy.
And Parvati, I am.
Worried.
Okay. So we have done 3 rounds. I think that should set the pace for what Hema wants to explain further.
Yeah.
We did this like how the slide says to say what we think about ourselves. And now when we say all these adjectives, there is a certain meaning that is attached to those words. And which is there. Are we judging ourselves because of those meanings which are there? That's what we bring up more over here. Go on, Emma.
Absolutely. So I think if we do right now, maybe you guys are saying I'm sleepy, I'm hungry, I'm tired, and all of that. But if we take it to another 15 rounds, you will really be amazed at what you think about yourself. It is amazing. So, regardless of how confidently we project
Maybe
ourselves,
because we're running short of time. So, like you mentioned, next time we can do the meditation bit. We can set the mood, the mind frame for it, and then do the I am exercise because the results would be amazing. It will be at a different level. So maybe we
very
can
true.
take it again next time.
Yeah, we can definitely take it forward next time. So, that's at the mental level that we're talking about. Then comes the feeling level. See, we spoke about it in the first session. No feeling is standalone. It is always accompanied by its best friend, the emotion. Okay. So as there is a thought, there is an emotion. Say it's called, what we feel about ourselves is called as a self-esteem. So again, if we do a sentence completion, you will see that, oh my God, there is just so much feeling that I have. This is how I feel about myself. Yeah. Even in the I am exercise, that will come up to a great extent. And based on how we think about ourselves and how we feel about ourselves, that is how we act or we project ourselves to the external world. And that is called as self-confidence. Okay. Of course, we all know the concept of fake it till you make it. So you try or you pretend to be confident, and it supposedly is supposed to also trickle down into your how you feel about yourself and how you think about yourself. It works for a short time, especially for presentations and all that. If you have nervousness about presenting or public speaking or something like that, or small things like that, I shouldn't say small things. Some people, it's a huge deal, but sometimes it works. In some situations, it works. But at the core of it, if we do not fix our feeling about ourselves, we will not be able to fix our worth. And therefore, the confidence that we project will remain superficial. So this entire gamut or the hype or uh, the glamour of self-love and self-care on Instagram and God knows where all of it is coming up because although people project themselves to be an ex person, they may not really be that person. And if we want to live authentic lives, then work must happen at a deeper level. It cannot function at the fake it till you make it. Oh, I don't care. It doesn't affect me. Life, okay, yeah, things happen and I am very strong and I don't cry. And all of that just works for some time. When you sit with yourself and you complete these sentences like I am, and somebody said I'm worried, it's a very legit feeling, right? It's a very legit thought. It's a very legit feeling. So it's important if your mind is throwing up this, then it is important for you to acknowledge that for what it is. Yeah. When you acknowledge that, then automatically there is a release of emotion. There is a shift in emotion, and therefore there is a shift in your life per se. So that's, I think we kind of end that for today because as usual, Zoom is telling me that there's just a minute left. So I hope this session was useful for you. And next time, like Sowmiya said, we'll start with a meditation. We'll set the ground, and then we'll start with self-worth, right? The next time. And that should really get the ball rolling for us. Okay. So Sharda, thanks for being here again. And Parvati, hope to see you next week as well. The timings are the same.
Always. Thank you for doing this.
And
Yeah,
I
it
will
was very
keep,
interesting.
reminding you. Yeah. If you registered, then I'll send you an invite anyway. Okay.
Sure. Thank
All
you.
right. Bye, guys.
Thanks for
Bye
joining.
bye. Thank you. Bye bye. Good night.
Good night.